Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It is an unhappy day. Oh, unhappy day indeed, as we close out St. Patrick's Day season with Leprechaun Origins from 2014.
What a
And,
terrible, terrible movie.
well, I thought about this. Is it a terrible movie, or is it a terrible movie to be associated with Warwick Davis's Leprechaun films?
Number one, I think it's inseparable. Number two, I think it's a terrible movie.
Okay. It started to grow on me at certain points.
It's only because you're into WWE. What do we got to say about WWE branding all over this movie? Tell me about WWE Movie Studio.
So WWE Movie Studio was a failed experiment that had a couple of modest hits.
Is it like The Marine or something? Wasn't John Cena involved? And it got like 5 sequels?
Yeah, with The Miz instead of John Cena.
Oh.
He got replaced, but in the sense of he cost too much. So Stone Cold Steve Austin had a movie about surviving on an island, which I have never gotten around to watching, but actually does sound interesting. And then, yeah, you had John Cena and The Marine, and then you have like Marine 2 through 6 with The Miz, Mike Mizanin. And there was a biography of a wrestler called Paige. There was a couple of horror movies with Kane. I did watch those, I have to say.
That would be interesting. Is he in character or what?
He's not in character, but he is a psychopathic killer with an axe, I think it was. So
I guess that'd be okay.
And this movie, you wouldn't know really that this was WWE. And what's amazing to me is somehow the WWE, with their long history of little people, had an actual leprechaun to play the leprechaun, and they screwed it up.
Do tell. I don't remember this guy.
So the leprechaun in this movie, and we'll put leprechaun in air quotes, is played by Dylan Postl, better known as Hornswoggle.
Oh.
Who basically, for a period of time on WWE programming, dressed up as a leprechaun, ran around with a little stick whacking people, and was portrayed as the illegitimate bastard child of Vince McMahon.
Really?
So he's a comedy character.
Okay.
And you have a movie series where you have a comedic leprechaun.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it would have been good, but they didn't lean into that, as they took the WWE leprechaun and made him the Warwick Davis origin story, in air quotes. And he does not have speaking lines. He grunts. He's blurry whenever he's on film because the costume apparently looks that bad.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure what the visual they were going for on that design.
I get the feeling that it kind of sees the heat signature in terms of what it can see. Unclear if it can hear, and it just scurries around like a lawn ornament almost. And it's just, I don't know. It's off-putting. I say the costume's bad, but I never really got a clear image of it.
The director took the Spielberg approach, said, we don't like the shark, so we're going to show him sparingly and do a lot of point-of-view shots, and that'll sell the horror of the thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't sell me on it.
No, and it's not really an origin story.
We've seen origin for the Leprechaun. Like, how many origins have we seen for the Warwick Davis? There was the 1,000 years ago in Leprechaun 2. Leprechaun 6 had
I think Leprechaun 6 was the true origin story of Warwick Davis's Leprechaun.
Doesn't that make sense that that's the last movie they did, and they titled the new one Origins? The most interesting part of movie number 6 was not the hood. It was that animated storybook background. It makes sense they would do that for a movie called Leprechaun Origins.
And it would have been a much better movie. And it's just, I don't know. So the one thing I liked about this movie was the scenic shots of Canada, which are allegedly trying to be Ireland. But they look real nice and it's colorful and crisp. Unlike anything they film in action, it is some crisp, good stuff.
They didn't show enough of it, though. I'd already forgotten about wide shots by the time we got to the end of it, because everything is shot. It feels like they're in a summer camp. You know what I'm saying? There's a cabin that's supposed to be really isolated by a walking trail, and yet you can run on foot in about 5 minutes or less to another storage house, which is what, just down the road from it?
No, this has an Ernest Goes to Camp scope in terms of the campsites.
Uh, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just an awful movie.
I've already forgotten the prologue to this movie.
The prologue was two kids running around in a field getting killed.
Wasn't there a big stone obelisk or something? What am I trying to say?
Yeah, kind of a Stonehenge looking thing. But I don't think there was really a prologue. You just got two kids running around, unclear why, and they get taken out by the mystery con.
And then we get our main characters, right? The four kids, college kids.
And I should say, too, this movie would have gotten a better review if it was Attack of the Mole Man. Like, this character is much more like a mole man than he is a leopard.
If it had been called Attack of the Mole Man, nobody would have reviewed it because it would have got no publicity.
Well, if WWE Studios did it, but they
All
wouldn't
right,
have done that.
I'll give you that. It's not like there wasn't money behind this somewhere. Doesn't mean they spent money on it, but there was money behind this somewhere if they had really wanted to spend on it.
Yeah, there are 12 named cast members and 2 extras, and that is the entire cast of the movie. Somehow they stretched that out into a 5-minute waste of time at the end of the movie when they did the credits, waiting to show you something interesting that they never showed.
I felt like the credits were 20 minutes long.
I think they were. It's like, hey, the movie's supposed to be 90 minutes. Well, it's done at 72 minutes. Well, we need 18 minutes of credits.
They never scroll. They show you a section, and then they cut to another blurry shot of that storage house, and the music is getting more and more ominous, and you expect a jump scare is coming, but you're hoping it'll be more than that, like something of substance. And they get all the way through it, and there's a jump scare, but it's like it's shot in a different place than all the old shed tools that you've been watching.
Yeah, it's like you got a WWE entrance video on the Titantron and some lame entrance music, and it's on a loop for like 18 minutes.
I was trying to stay awake, like around midnight, watching those credits, think there's going to be some reveal at the end. Like maybe the Leprechaun will put on a hat and shoes or something. Because it's an origin story, right? I mean,
yeah, so I read some reviews while the credits were scrolling, and the first one I read, it's like, I promise there's nothing at the end of the credits. Don't worry about watching all the credits.
There is a jump scare, but it's kind of like you saw that's what they were going to do, and that's all there is. Let me talk about the main 4 cast, the college kids on vacation.
Go for it.
From the beginning, there's nothing that they do that's outright wrong to start the movie out with. There is some things I could talk about later. But as soon as they're introduced, I don't care if they all get killed off. Do you think that's a problem in a movie like this?
Yes, and it gets a little concerning about halfway through when none of them have been killed yet. And you're like, don't tell me they're all going to make it to the end. Like, surely not.
Here's part of my complaint, and I don't know how fair it is. Everybody looks too pretty. And part of that, I think, is not the casting. You know, it's not like you can't have attractive or beautiful people in your movie. But it feels like everybody has perfect makeup and their hair has just been cut and styled. And none of the other Leprechaun movies felt that way to me, even though there's obvious makeup and casting and costume and all that. But they feel a lot different than the local Irish people. The old man and his son, like John Boy, or what's the son's name?
We can go with John Boy. I don't think it is, but I don't remember. Oh, Sean
Boy. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I heard John. Sean Boy. Those characters, though far more despicable, seem a lot more interesting to me because they feel lived in somehow, whereas the college students do not. They feel paper.
And they're the true villains of the movie, honestly.
The
Leprechaun is in the movie, but he's not necessarily cognizant enough to be a villain. He's just doing his thing.
Their history seems more interesting to me. Like, why are they in this abusive relationship with a leprechaun? And we're told about it, but we're not sure why they stay in the abusive relationship with the leprechaun.
They tell us about the origin story instead of showing us the origin story.
Yeah, and the Sean boy is tortured through the whole movie, morally. And he's the one character that seems to have positive growth, whereas his father is a static character.
We assume he dies. I don't think he dies on screen.
Well,
the son.
that's so confusing. We might get to that, but the ending is so confusing about when they go to the storage house for the second time. Am I getting that right, or are they in the trap house for the second time?
It's another house. There is an inside. I'm not
Ugh.
sure it's just a storage house, but at least has like
Oh,
a barn attached to it.
it's like it's part of the village or something that I'm
But they're not at the
uncertain.
village.
Ugh, I don't get it, but the spacing is weird in this movie.
They travel long distances in very short periods of time, and then
That's like everybody uses a vehicle, but you could walk, you can run to it as the kids do. You run back and forth or drive a vehicle if you're lazy.
yeah, and I think they don't help themselves when they keep referencing this 8 mile hike.
No, 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 Joe. It's 8 hour hike. It's a
Oh,
long
8 hours.
hike.
Excuse me.
Remember that?
Yeah. So you have this 8 hour hike that you keep thinking about, but in reality, that's not the distance between the Stonehenge thing and where they're at. It's probably more like a mile.
Well, you're right because the kids end up at the not obelisk. Is there a better name for the stone? Not Stonehenge. Monolith? Is that it?
That would be the Agents of Shield reference. I don't know.
Monolith.
I don't know what
Well,
people
yeah, because
think of. I don't know if
it
people. I don't know if real people have ever heard those words.
when the old man at the pub when he entices the college kids to go see this important historical marker of Irish history, he's talking about that saying, isn't he? The
He is.
monolith.
Well, at least one of them. I think he is implying that all of them are in the same spot. And so, background on the movie: you have these 8 pieces of leprechaun henge that kind of form a circle, and the leprechaun, more or less, cannot leave the circle. And we don't know why. We don't know the
No,
origins of the circle, or the stone, or the leprechaun. Leprechaun Origins, no origin story. What do you know? And at some point in the past, these townspeople, maybe the current generation, maybe the generation before, who knows? They went into this cave and they found gold, and they made a
hooray,
mine out of it. And they took all the
hooray!
gold. And I don't know where the leprechaun was during this time, but he didn't catch on for a little bit. Maybe he was hibernating. But eventually he wakes up and is pissed off, this little leprechaun who can't speak or think or even see things straight. And he starts killing the townspeople. So they start offering up, well, offerings to the leprechaun to keep him at bay. I don't get the feeling that he eats them, but he kills them. And maybe they give him a little bit of gold each time to like lure him down there.
Did he sign a treaty with them? How does that
I don't know.
agreement work?
I guess they found and read that book that was in the basement.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so they basically have a trap house that they use to lure tourists into, and then they lock it from the outside, and they wait for the leprechaun to come eat them or kill them or whatever he does to them at night.
Or maybe they run to the monolith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they're just distracting him more than anything. And that's kind of the setup of the movie. The evil Irish people.
that part's probably realistic. Yeah,
The evil Irish people.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've seen evil Irish people like this since Halloween 3. But
Were they Scottish or Irish? I guess they were Irish because it was the Shamrocks, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Silver Shamrock.
The So then most of the movie is them running around trying not to get killed by the leprechaun. It takes a long time for the first one to get killed. And none of the deaths were really all that interesting other than
No,
when the leprechaun didn't do one of the kills, actually.
that's my favorite part of the movie, the kill that he didn't do, because all I could think of, all I could think of is this is a terrible plan, and I was glad it ended terribly for everybody.
It was a bad plan from the beginning. So they want to
Oh,
lure the leprechaun back into the house and whack it with an axe and a pitchfork of some sort. And there's a little trap doggy door that the leprechaun uses that the Irish people have set up.
in the back of the chimney, right?
Yeah.
How many
And
chimneys have a trap door behind it?
that's the trap house. And the leprechaun had just ripped out a tongue ring from someone and gave him a split tongue. So they said she could stay outside and just lock the door behind the leprechaun when he comes in. And the leprechaun last minute figures out something's up.
She's hiding under the steps that are very see-through
I know.
steps. It's in the dark,
Yeah.
but
That's when I was really questioning whether or not the leprechaun could hear.
yeah. She's
I
breathing
still don't
heavily,
really
I
know.
think.
Yeah. Oh, he's like a pug.
If it was a dog, the dog would smell it out before anything else.
But anyways, and the leprechaun figures out something's up. He thinks there's a trap, and he takes the girl. I don't know if he really I'm not sure how he managed to do this, but
He just kind
without
of
making her
slides her through,
scream,
doesn't he?
he slides her through the door, and the guy whacks her in the head with the axe.
Both of them, though, it was the one guy and one girl. They were both waiting to swing. It was just so comical. Like
It's something Warwick would have done, actually.
it's this is after they've already lost one of their group. And are we going to talk about the two male characters and why one of them, the one who lives longer, is just the worst character in this movie? Maybe even so than the Irish villains.
We can go for it.
All right. So David gets injured first in the trap house, and all the kids manage to get out. And they run down the gravel road or whatever it is to the other house, that storage house that wherever it is, I don't know. And David has trouble on a leg that's been gnawed half off. And he falls down, and two of the kids keep running, but one of the girls goes back and helps him hobble. I forget, do you remember which of the girls goes back? Main girl or other girl?
It was Sophie. It was not his girlfriend. His girlfriend ran off with, I think, Ben.
I had forgotten the romantic connection. So the main girl, she's the brunette, right? Sophie?
Yes.
There's another girl that's kind of blonde or whatever, and she's always freaking out. I guess she's the one that gets her tongue ripped off or something at some point. But
she gets an earring ripped out and her tongue ripped.
okay.
No, well, not the tongue, but the ring in the tongue.
Right.
The leprechaun likes gold.
So none of these kids, after they get to the storage house, none of them call the others out for leaving David as a cannon fodder for the leprechaun. And then the later into the movie, they try to escape. The evil Irish people recapture them, and they tie them to the trees in the woods. And the leprechaun goes after David first, and he slashes at his belly or something. And he was taking gold off of him, wasn't he?
Yeah, they draped gold necklaces over these guys to lure the leprechaun to them.
Okay. So the leprechaun takes the big necklace, and in the process, he kind of slashes David across the belly. You're not sure if it's a fatal wound or not. But somehow it cuts the ropes, too. David is free. And he's trying to make do with the situation, and that other dude, Benny or whatever, he says, "David, don't leave us." David does something productive. He goes and gets a sharp object, and he cuts one girl free, and then he cuts the other two free. And I think he tries to attack that doggone leprechaun, despite his injuries, because he's got a weapon. And some of the other kids do manage to grab something. And what does the three of them do? They run off while David's getting shoot on. And the main girl says, "Let's go back to the cabin and kill that thing." And I'm thinking, the leprechaun's eating your buddy over there. You could at least try to take a shot at him. You know, it's like nobody gets called out. Now, at the end of the movie, the very end of the movie, the main girl calls out Benny for, I don't know, they were running down the same gravel road again, and she fell and he kept running. She calls him out for that. Maybe they semi-reconcile enough to try and formulate a final plan, but, I mean, he dies anyway, so it's sort of like there's no payoff.
He gets caught by the leprechaun and more or less tells her to run, get out. So if you want to say he had a moral comeuppance at there and an awakening, I guess he could. But no, these are not good people. And they consistently leave each other behind. The main girl, less prone to do so. She's probably not wrong in that the guy who's getting ripped open was probably, not a lot to gain in that situation.
But again, if you wanted to kill the leprechaun,
they would have had a better chance killing the leprechaun right then because their plan was horrible.
No, it's awful. They don't even know if they can kill it. That's the other thing. Because we've watched the other movies. We've seen, well, just because you cut it, shoot it, dismember it, doesn't mean it's going to die. But in this movie, it very well could be the case. I don't know. Even at the end of it.
Well, yeah, the end's a little weird.
I don't know if it died or not.
Yeah, so the movie ends and she makes it out to the field. The sun comes up because they want to be able to show the last shot, a visual. And this was where I was trying to decide, am I being too harsh on this movie? And she's got an axe thing, and she's found some gold coins in a backpack, which we assume was part of the first two people running around from the prologue.
The 8-mile hike or the eight
Yeah.
hour hike, whatever.
And she throws the coins up in the air to distract the leprechaun, and then just drops the most disrespectful line in movie history.
Boo! I was sitting alone in my apartment at midnight. I booed when this happened.
And she says, "F you, Lucky Charms," and cuts its head off.
Why would she say that? Other than it was in a previous movie from 15 years earlier. 20 years earlier, I guess.
Yeah, there's no Lucky Charms in the making of this movie.
Why would she say that? I mean, other than she read the book about leprechauns and they assumed it was a leprechaun?
Yeah, I don't know.
And
the movie ends.
Well, and then when she's running away and we hear growls coming after her, right? Like, I wasn't sure what that meant.
It's implied that there's a leprechaun family farm going on here, but I don't know. They make no reference to multiple leprechauns. I feel like if there was multiple leprechauns, then the Irish people's plan would not have been working all these years. They weren't feeding them that many.
That's one concept I'm surprised we never got over the course of 8 movies. They never did what James Cameron did after Ridley Scott and went from alien to aliens. We never went from leprechaun to leprechauns. Not once did we get a crew of these things, even though we were told there was more than one.
Well, we did get 2 leprechauns in the Vegas movie, but not because they were true family, but they had the mixing of the blood.
Yeah.
But that's the closest we got to it. So I just put into Grok and I said, write me a limerick about how bad this movie is. And it spit something out. And I just said, make it funnier. And it did. So here's what Grok thinks of this movie. There once was a flick called Leprechaun Origins, a reboot so bad it deserves some forensics. No Warwick, no rhymes, just a growl and some grimes. A bald cave monster with 0 adorables. The tourists were bland as stale Lucky Charms. The plot? Locals feed kids to a beast with no arms. WWE cash grab flop. 0 laughs, 0 pop. It made folks root for the leprechaun's harms. The quote, origin story, a big fat sham. No gold, no shoes, just generic jam. Acting like zombies on Quaaludes. Effects that scream budget, who needs? I'd rather watch dry paint in Ireland's glam, so skip this disaster, ye lads and ye lasses. It murdered the fun with its soulless molasses. For horror this witty, go back to the city, where little green men still kick tourist asses.
So this convinces me that in some cases it will be better for artificial intelligence to write movies.
Yes.
It will be improved upon if they can do it. Whoever was involved in this production. Yeah.
So I don't know if there's much else to say about this movie.
You remember those magazines that were the ridiculous magazines that used to be all over grocery stores? I don't know if it was like Weekly World News or something.
Oh, yeah.
They'd always have those weird Bat Boy creatures, which I think is getting an action figure now. He looks like an attempt to make that scarier, which is mixed with some Lord of the Rings or like a Nosferatu Dracula film or an Alien.
The only clear shot you get of him, at least his face, is at the end when they cut his head off and you see it flying off the body. That's
it looks
really
like
the only
rubber.
Clear image. Yeah, it looks like an old Godzilla mask, like from the 60s. And I don't know if they had the blurry camera in mind from the beginning, or if they saw the finished product on the costume and said, this is a problem.
I think this movie, if it has any value, it's a lesson in everything that's wrong with semi-big studio-backed Hollywood movies. It's not like it was made in a garage, but it was a movie that was not expected to be super profitable, but had some money studio behind it. Just everything wrong with those.
Yeah. So how are we going to rate this thing?
You know what I was thinking? Something that's sort of a paler imitation of other things, like Mr. Pibb to Dr. Pepper. What about rusty gold tokens from Mr. Gaddy's Pizza? You remember Mr. Gaddy's? I don't know if there's still any left.
I do. We could Gaddy's Pizza tokens.
Because it's not Showbiz Pizza or Chuck E. Cheese, but it's imitating that. And it's rusty old tokens and not a single arcade machine to play them with.
Okay. So I'll let Grok go first.
Oh.
And Grok gives it a broken token out of 5. He gives it 0.5. So he gives it 1/2 of a rusty token.
Why'd he give it that much?
In short, it says skip it unless you're doing a full franchise completionist run and have strong tolerance for disappointment. The Leprechaun doesn't even say they're after me Lucky Charms. That's how wrong it went.
Well, it never should have said that anyway. But
No,
that's
but
where Grok is revealing it doesn't really know what he's talking about. But if it's my turn, I'm going to undercut Grok, and I'm going to give it for the first time ever one big goose egg in our. That's why it didn't really matter what we were going to rate it on, because I wasn't giving it a sing.
Well, I'm going to undercut you.
What?
I put my token in the machine and it ate my coin, and I'm going up to the front desk to get a refund. It's as a -1 rusty token. That's what I call it.
Yeah, I can't recommend it, not even for completionists. There's a couple movies on Vudu that seem to be Leprechaun knockoff films, which are going to be more in line with the Warwick Davis stuff, but are not licensed by the same studio. But I feel like they would be a little bit closer to the source material than this movie with Leprechaun in the title. Can we at least agree that in Hollywood, it's a bad sign if they attach the word Origins to any movie? This came out 5 years after X-Men Origins, which was supposed to be a new series, starting with Wolverine and moving on to Magneto and maybe other characters, and that franchise died because of a bad Deadpool.
An Origins movie as your 7th movie is inherently difficult anyways, because even if you are trying to maintain continuity, the actor is older by 14 to 15 years. Like, if they wanted to reboot the Leprechaun series as something a little more serious, and they wanted to go this route, more power to them. But just be upfront. This says on the poster, a horror icon is reborn.
And he's supposed to be born for the first time? Yeah, it's like...
I don't know. It's just, I'm glad they did Returns.
Yeah.
This movie so much could have killed this franchise for good. And somehow it didn't.
And maybe one day there'll be a new movie, because everything seems to be being merchandised again. And if they're merchandising, they might want to give it another go.
There is a movie that's been off and on development for a few years, but I don't think they've gotten anywhere. I don't know. I think me and you just need to get together and get a good script on paper, at least a storyboard. Have our guys call Warwick's guys, just get him to sit down for a meeting and just get him on board. Because I think if Warwick would just sign up for another movie, I don't think he'd have a hard time finding a studio that's willing to drop $3-4 million on it. So
Lionsgate still controls the IP.
Well, that's been Leprechaun Origins, which was accidentally released in 2014.
Woof.
Yeah. See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.